Know what time it is. It's Queen Talk, not small talk. Hello, hello. I'm rested. I hope everyone is having a fabulous Friday today. Thank God it's Friday. So, someone asked me to look into this whole DL list thing. Before you waste your time, I'm not going to show the list. If you have been a follower on my content long enough, you should already know this isn't gonna, it didn't shock me. If you've been a sovereign sister long enough, obviously it's not going to shock you because one of the things that I do is expose, men's nature and how they do have a propensity to be DL, how they do have a propensity to be very fluid in their sexuality, even if they are hiding it from other people. So, of course, like we are going to talk about that, but really, it's really just going to be a reaction to a lot of what was said on TikTok when other people were, kind of like explaining their thoughts on the whole list. Because I did notice a trend amongst men, particularly the gay men. Actually, I really did notice a trend on what their opinions were, and honestly I haven't really seen anyone have this take. I kind of have like an unpopular opinion, I think, on the whole situation. But before we get into it, please do not forget to like press the thumbs up for me, okay? And when you thumbs up, become a sovereign sister. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to sit outside the castle. You can sit on the throne by subscribing. Click the notification bell to all, and that way you'll get notified whenever I do a live stream. I try to do a live stream most days of the week, anywhere between 5:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, you can go on my link tree. My link tree is going to link you to my Patreon, which is where I teach dark femininity and dark manipulation. That way you can learn to play the game and how to play the game so you don't get played. I also have my one-on-one consultations there. And then I also have my spiritual channel as well linked there too. So let's go ahead and I think the most important thing is for us to identify who this woman is. So she's a trans woman. And essentially, what happened was that she had like a list of DMs and she recorded her receiving all these DMs from men. And the recording was 17 minutes long. Now, I'm one of those people that the way my brain works, I have to have all the pieces of the puzzle for me to be able to gain a proper judgment. Okay. We are going to watch a video first on a woman that stitched how this woman looked. And I want you to tell me, okay, sovereign sisters, I want you to tell me, does this woman look trans to you? Because the thing about it is this, I haven't seen her profile because she deleted all this stuff, right? And when I like will get on people's profiles or whatever, like they won't have it in their profile that they're trans. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the time, like it's really not obvious, you know? So I want you, once I show this video, I want you to tell me if you think that this woman is trans or not. And then based off of what you all are going to tell me, then we can kind of shift a perspective, okay? And I'll tell you all what I think after you all tell me what y'all think. So let's watch this video.
The trans woman who created the
Hold on. Hold up.
list, exposing all the men who be up. Did you hear about the trans woman who created the Houston DL list, exposing?
So this is the woman in the back. Okay, that's her. That's the one that linked it. I think her name is like Anaya. Oh, Alaya. That's her name, Alaya. So this is the woman, the dark skinned woman in the back. That's the woman that leaked the list.
And all the men who be up in her DMs. Everybody's talking about all the men who've been exposed, but nobody's talking about exposing her. On Facebook, she calls herself Aaliyah Zani Batiz, and she describes herself.
Okay, so the profile says a transgender woman. Okay. Profile says a transgender woman. And even in that picture, even in her profile picture, The jawline is looking strong.
Herself as a transgender woman who is such a beautiful contradiction. But ain't nothing beautiful about what she did. To me, it's disgusting, self-hating behavior. Aaliyah is using her identity as a trans woman to hurt men because they're attracted to her? Come on, choose
It's giving pick me, but go off.
a side. If you really believe you're a woman and men are jumping into your DMs, what is there to expose? You're a woman. If you're exposing men for being attracted to you, does that mean you believe you're a man? And look at the type of pictures she posts. Showing off, looking good. She's setting thirst traps for men and then getting mad because they want something to drink. She's shaming men for liking her. That sounds like self-hatred to me. What Aaliyah is doing is not helping women. She's actually embarrassing trans women and pushing men back farther into the closet. For the record, if you've never heard it before, there is nothing wrong with men being attracted to men, and there's nothing wrong with men being attracted to trans women. Attraction is not a choice, but men have to hide it because male homosexuality is considered to be a weakness. Homosexuality is not a weakness. It's not a flaw. We were designed to love each other. Yeah, we got the women out here talking about,
you attracted to men, so where the fuck, if all the men disappear, what you gonna do?
but that don't even matter because they're not looking for love. They're looking for a rescuer. Instead of shaming them, women need to free men to love whoever they want to. So then when they really choose us, we know it's real. Aaliyah was wrong for exposing these men. What do you think of this story? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tiarka with the T.
Child. So the one thing that you're going to notice is that once again, the onus is on women. We're the reason why the men can't come out. It's all of our fault. If we would just accept men for who they are, then like they would be open about these things. And my thing is this. A lot of people are claiming that like this is kind of salacious on her part, the trans woman's part that exposed this, but I look at it like this. Let's say that you are a trans woman and it's not obvious that you're trans. Like, let's say that you did everything top to bottom. Because you also have to remember that like trans is an identifier. So like you can still have the biological part of you be a man and then still identify as you being a woman. So if a man were to meet a woman and like, let's just say top to bottom, she's trans, she's a trans woman, and she does not say that she's a trans woman. And then like he sleeps with her, like all this stuff. And then what if that man finds out later down the line that he finds out that she used to be a man? Do you think that man is going to take that lightly? Do you think that a man is going to take it lightly knowing that he's been sleeping with a woman who used to be a man? He's not going to take that lightly at all. Like we've seen that with rappers in the fucking industry. Like I think Chingy, there were a lot of like rappers back in the day that were exposed as like dealing with trans women. And then like supposedly they said that like, I didn't know that she was trans. So my thing is that if heterosexual men would never allow, if they would feel some type of way on dealing with a trans woman and they didn't know that she was a trans woman, and then they find out that, she used to be a man, it's the exact same thing as if a woman was dealing with a man who she believed was to be heterosexual and then found out that he was bisexual or gay. You're going to have the same response because you don't have the full story. The person is not leading with honesty for you to be able to make a proper decision. And men want to have access to everything and everybody. It's not women's. Women literally could sit here and say, we don't give a fuck about what it is that who you decide to bend over if you're getting bent over. Women could praise that from the rooftops, but men respect other men more than they respect women. So at the end of the day, they care about their proximity to getting approval from other men. They don't care about the approval from women. The reason why they're lying about it is because they want to be able to have the benefits that come along with dealing with women. And then they can do whatever it is that they want with their extracurricular activities on the side, essentially. So it's weird because a lot of the takes, like, it's weird. A lot of the takes seem to not have any thinking of how it would be impacting women. Women that are in a relationship with these men that were on the list. Isn't she a known trans woman though? I have no idea. Y'all, I'm keeping this 100% in context of what I know. I don't know if she's well known. I have no idea about any of that. All I know is what I showed y'all. It says on the profile that she's transgender. Okay. It says that. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Men aren't picky. Okay. Men aren't picky. And come on the dating profiles. How often do you women get frustrated on the dating apps? Because you literally will have it in your dating app profile. This is what you're looking for. This is what age cutoff you have. These are your boundaries against having kids, no kids, and then, or no hookups. And then a guy is messaging you saying, hey, I want to hook up. Hey, I want to. Do I think that most of these men are going to her profile and actually pay attention to the shit? No. They're looking at her stories. They're looking very quickly. Oh, she's shaking her ass. She's got her boobies out, yada, yada, yada. It's all lust. I mean, all the DL list, all of those men that she had messaging her, a lot of it is lust. A lot of this is driven by lust. And this is why I say that, like, I'm so numb to men being DL. I've been numb about them being DL literally since I was in high school. Simply because their lust is always going to be their demise. Look at Shannon Sharp. Their lust is going to be the thing that is always going to get them exposed. It's going to be the things that the thing that is always going to be their downfall, because men don't make any discerning decisions when lust is taking over. Once their bottom head runs the show, their top head is cut the fuck off. They are no longer going to be making any decisions using their cognitive function. They're using everything down there. And so they don't really care how they allow that to come into fruition. She's a known trans woman. She's been eating the guys up for years. I also agree men aren't picky at all. Yeah, they aren't picky. Like, I can clearly tell that she's trans, but it's like, come on. Like, I mean, does she really look bad for a trans woman? No. I mean, like, she knows how to put on her makeup. Like, she's wearing very feminine clothes. Like, to a man, they'll look at that shit right away and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's perfect. And I've said it before, but it's like, I did bodybuilding, okay? You would be shocked at how many men actually like trans women, because the way they see it, it's the best of both worlds. But this is the reason why I make the content talking about what signs to look for what signs to look for in DL men. And one of the things you should never put it past a man is for him to be DL, for him to either currently or in his past had some interaction with a man, or is sexually attracted to a man, or has had some sexual encounter with a man. That way you aren't out here surprised, because these men will know that they're laying up with men. They enjoy laying up with men, and they will get you pregnant. They will get you knocked up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. They will put that ring on your finger, and they will walk you down the aisle. They will literally carry out all of the things that they need to do as if they are 100% a heterosexual man, just to be able to be accepted into society. Women did not create that society. That is a patriarchal standard for men to be heterosexual. Women did not create that. So this is what always frustrates me when things like this happen, because once again, it's proof that you're putting the onus on the oppressed. Like, it's not our job. It's not our job to keep things hush hush to protect men. That's not their job to keep things hush hush to protect men. So let's listen to a few other takes, because like I said before, they're coming from the mouths of people that I feel like women actually feel like these people are in solidarity with women, and they're not.
There's a quote unquote DL list going around in Houston, and a lot of people are going crazy, like, oh my God, send me the list. I need to know. I need to know who to stay away from. And I have a different opinion about this, and I feel like some people are going to disagree with it, but it's the truth. First, let's talk about double standards. A lot of women I know dibbled and dabbled with both genders. And guess what society does? Turn a blind eye to it, majority of the time. But when a man likes another man and also another woman, it's, stay away from me, he's hazardous. When will we as society stop shaming these men that like both genders?
When men start first. We'll stop. The shaming will stop when men start first. See, the thing about patriarchy is that men wanted to assume all of this responsibility by creating a patriarchy. They wanted to decide gender roles. They wanted to decide gender norms. They wanted to decide who was going to get paid more, who was going to get paid less. And it's the same thing with the Shannon Sharp situation. Men want men, it's all good and dandy. It's all good and dandy in a patriarchy when everything is going your way. Oh, well, I got money, and because I got money, I could deal with an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, as long as she legal. I could deal with whoever I want to deal with because I'm a man. I could do whatever it is that I want to do because I'm a man. With great power comes with great responsibility. So at the end of the day, the shaming is coming from the men. No man is afraid of a woman whooping his ass if he decides that, hey, I'm gay. Hey, I'm going to come out as trans. Hey, I'm going to come out as bisexual. It starts off with their family, number one. But even the mothers are trained under patriarchy. So it all starts with the men. The men are the ones that created this structure. So we won't do the shaming. We won't do the shaming until men stop doing the shaming. I mean, it's really simple.
Y'all wonder why we have a term DL now. Because society makes these men fearful to come out. Y'all are saying be honest, but y'all never open a space for these men to be honest. Like genuinely honest. Without saying it in disgust. Yes, everyone should be honest about who they love, but we need to start having a different approach when it comes to these type of topics.
I don't know. A part of it, honestly, if I could be honest, a part of me just feels like some of that comes off as like jealousy, if I could be honest, because yeah, as women, we are, like I said before, patriarchy created that. And the reason why patriarchy created that is because, once again, it goes back to lust. Women are allowed to be openly bisexual and openly lesbian with less repercussions because men get off on that. The things that men allow is based off of their amount of lust. All of the decisions under patriarchy are based off of a man's penis. Dick measuring contest. That's 100%. It's a dick measuring contest and what can get their dick up the fastest. That's it. Those are the two things that patriarchy is built off of. So you can't sit here. You can't sit here and say, oh, it's not fair. Oh, it's not fair because we have a double standard. Men were the ones that created a double standard. So it should be on men to say, you know what, we're going to accept the fact that someone is bi, gay, whatever it is that it's up to the men. We can't do anything until the men decide to do it. And we got another man. Listen to what he has to say.
Talk to you all about the DL list, right? So there's a DL list that's going around for Houston, Texas. And people who don't know what DL is down low for like down low men or whatever. And I understand that everybody want to know if they make sure they ain't sleeping with somebody that's DL and stuff like that. I completely, wholeheartedly understand the concept. And I understand that some people just get a thrill out of knowing other people fucking business. But these DL lists gonna get y'all killed. I just want to let y'all know that these DL lists is going to get y'all unalived because people go to great lengths to hide their secrets for some random person to expose them. There has been trans people, there have been other members of the LGBTQ community that have been unalived for the exact same thing.
We live in a world with men. No matter what it is, as long as you live in a world with men, they're going to kill people. You are going to be at the mercy of a man when you do something that he does not like. There's nothing you can do about that. So just allow women to get, STDs, allow women to, get married and put their all into someone thinking that the person is heterosexual, allow women to be lied to, allow for women to have to take the burden and to take the brunt of being lied to, their children being lied to, them realizing that their whole life is essentially a lie, simply because someone is going to a man is going to potentially unalive for getting exposed. Husbands are out here unaliving their wives because the husband is cheating, and the best thing that they can think of is, well, instead of me getting a divorce, how about I just unalive my kids and my wife? That's the best thing I could think of. Like he's making this point and making it seem as if you not exposing them is still going to keep you alive. All men do is wreak havoc. All men do is fuck up things. All men do is cause destruction. You withholding these things is not going to save your life. It will save the life of many other people while putting yourself in a predicament where you would very well be sacrificing yours. I'm definitely not discounting that. But at the end of the day, this goes back to patriarchy. If you do not fit the mold of patriarchy, men already are going to see you as inferior. So if you're a woman, if you're gay, if you're trans, you're going to be on their list of people to dominate, and they may decide that they want to dominate over you by taking your life. That's just how men think.
And it's a lot of them. So you playing with your damn life. You're going to be exposing somebody, and they're going to expose you to the Lord, because that's where you're going to be. You're going to be up there with God, trying to explain to God how the hell you got up there.
And my thing is this. Whenever men make comments, because essentially he's protecting other men. He is protecting other men. This is why, although I have nothing against the gay, lesbian, LGBTQIA community. I have nothing against them. This is the reason why I don't just kumbaya with a man just because he's gay. I don't take a gay man as one of the girls. Okay. I don't take them as one of the girls, because if I was putting because at the end of the day, men are men, regardless of their sexual orientation, men are men. And so in my head, if I'm thinking as a gay man, a gay black man, because I would say about 98% of the people on that list were black men. And mind you, the list is a running list of DMs that is 17 minutes long. Okay. And she's not sleeping with all of these men. A lot of it was just them looking at her stories. That's why I showed the first video of what she's wearing, how she, she's moving, she's twerking, yada, yada, yada. Men are lustful. So that's what they're responding to. And like I said before, do I think that these men are going back to her profile and seeing that she's transgender? No, but that should go to tell you how they're not picky. They're not picky. All it takes is for you to have some titties and wear a string bikini and twerk, and a man is going to get in your DMs, because that's how lustful they are. But if I'm thinking like a gay man, and it's already kind of hard out here, the first thing I'm going to think is, bitch, you're fucking up my clientele. You're fucking up my options. Now I'm not going to have as many men Now, I'm not going to have as many men that I could talk to and that I could deal with, because please understand, please believe, gay men literally have sex with heterosexual men for sport. They literally turn them out for sport. So a lot of this has to do with self-protection. Men have to be self-protective. They have to be. They have no choice. They are inherently selfish people. So even when they're gay, they're not a woman. They're not you. All right. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Like, this is a dangerous game. Like, I don't understand why people play this shit.
I'm an ENTJ, for who asked my MBTI.
For that list of DL men because y'all are concerned about not wanting to be cheated on. Y'all are looking for that list of DL men because y'all are homophobic and y'all think that only gay people can have HIV, and y'all.
Miss Highly Favored, thank you for the super chat. You didn't write anything, so I don't know if you have a question or like a comment to make, but you didn't type it, so just want to let you know you could type it, or you need to type it. The ignorance. So once again, it's another gay man. I'm assuming this is another gay man just by hearing him. So once again, it's women's fault. Once again, how dare you? Like I said before, here's the thing. This is the thing that a lot of women have to realize. Just because you come out as gay doesn't mean that you know how to emotionally regulate. And it doesn't mean that you know how to deal with the trauma that comes along with you coming out as gay. Don't get me wrong. Coming out as gay is a very heroic thing to do, but it also comes with a lot of baggage and a lot of trauma. And from what I've been hearing from these three men who are, I'm assuming, are all gay, they have not been able to emotionally regulate. All three of them, it sounds as if they are taking it very personal. They are feeling very much attacked at how women are responding to this. If you don't date women, and if you're gay, if you're homosexual, why do you care anyway what women are thinking? Why do you care about what our opinion is on being lied to or having an STD, be given to you when you're in a monogamous relationship, you're in a monogamous marriage? Every species has a predator and prey. Exactly. And as a woman, you literally have been groomed to like your predator. You literally have been groomed to fall in love and to want to be obsessed and want to be a slave to your predator. So these men that are gay, I think a lot of these men that are making comments like this, they're doing it out of self-protection.
Are concerned with catching HIV. That's what a lot of those comments under that latest post are hinting at. But yeah. And the men who are under that post trying to drag that girl for exposing those men, y'all are DL too. How y'all do it? Clock that T.
So yeah, really the gay men are mad because now it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder for them to have more access to men now. But the thing about it is this: when women see things like that, like currently I'm celibate, I'm not dating, I'm not seeing anyone, and I kid you not, I see more things confirming how much safer I am by not dating, by not sleeping with anyone. I see more things confirming that I'm making the right decision by doing none of those things, more than I see things that are making me feel bad about why I'm not in a relationship or why I'm not married or why I'm not sleeping with anybody. More and more women, as this information is coming out, women are just going to keep distancing themselves from men because it's getting to the point where it's becoming too dangerous. Like, You might get unalived. You may get stalked. You may be sleeping with a heterosexual man that is sleeping with men and not disclosing. At the end of the day, HIV is most commonly given and passed through gay men. And it's because it has, and the thing about it is that it's just simply because of the route. I work in the medical field. It's just simply because of the route that they have to go when they are engaging in that behavior. That pathway, that exit is highly vascular. It's highly, highly, highly vascular. This is the reason why if you take an edible, you're gonna it will take a while, but the edible is gonna hit you a lot harder than you inhaling it will, because your intestines are a highly vascularized place. It can metabolize things on a stronger level. So when men are doing it that way, they're tearing up the lining, they're tearing up the opening, so they're making way more openings for bodily fluids to pass through. And then in that highly vascular area, it's much easier for the disease to be passed that way. It's just there's a word, and then we're trained to have a word with a certain stigma. And then based off of that stigma, it will draw up an emotion. I will give you a sign that you are out of the matrix. If you'll know for sure you're out of the matrix when you can hear a word, and you can hear a word that's supposed to have a connotation to it. It's a word that is supposed to associate some type of emotion in you, and you no longer have an emotion to it. So at the end of the day, women don't want to put themselves in a predicament where they're an innocent bystander and they're catching stray bullets from men in this way, where they're doing what they're supposed to do, and then they're getting something that they can't get rid of. So my thing is this: women are going to keep more and more things like this are going to keep coming out, and women are just going to be like, fuck it. I'm not going to date. So guess what? To the gay men, to all the men, listen, I'm telling y'all can have all the men y'all want. Like, I promise y'all can have all the men y'all want. I'm good. Your girl is good. Okay. I'm not playing no games.
But on Facebook, then you saw the Houston list of all of the DL men that were in this trans woman's inbox. And my thing is, don't just look at the people that are in that inbox. Look at the people that are in the comments, because the amount of men that are in the comments that have the most disrespectful, disgusting things to say about this woman, yeah, they're also one. And the amount of women who have seen the video and are like, oh my goodness, I know this person, or oh my goodness, this person's married, or oh my goodness, this person has a baby on the way, oh my goodness, this person has a wife. Like, it's not even about outing, because I'm not for outing someone who's not ready to be outed. However, at this point, it's about safety. It's about women's safety, because a lot of them were like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so is pregnant, so-and-so has a kid on the way, so-and-so has a whole family. Like, again, I'm not for outing someone who's not ready to be outed, but just think of the wife, think of the family, think of the kids. Like, and at this point, it's 2025. I'm not saying everyone should just come out, but you should definitely be true to who you really are.
It's really that simple. Now, me, I have a different opinion on outing. I'm all for outing. I'm all for outing. Okay. I will out your ass in a heartbeat if need be. I will out your ass if need be. I will literally risk things to be able to out a person, because just think, I'm a person and I know 10 people. Okay. And let's just say three of those people are doing something that they're not supposed to do. Okay, well, what if you know 10 people and 5 of those people are doing something that they're not supposed to do? And then I know 4 of those people. And then the 3 people that I know 10 of those people that you know. And then the cycle keeps repeating. So when no one is outing anyone, all it's going to do is have more people come in contact with other people doing nefarious things. And then it's going to be hurting everybody. And the thing about it is that the more people out, especially if they do it together, it creates more safety. When you're one person doing the outing, of course, you're going to be at a higher risk of having some violence against you. You're only one person. We see this with R-word cases. When one woman comes out, a little bit later, another woman will come out, and then another, and another, and another, and another, because they understand that there's power in numbers. Because it takes a lot of bravery to be able to come out about an experience that you had that was traumatic, is that. So that's the psychology behind it. Most, especially women have to come out in groups once they see one woman sets an example, and then you follow the lead of that woman for your safety. This is the reason why men consider women talking to other women, you sharing information with other women is considered gossip. When you hear the word gossip, you think of it as a very negative thing. You think of it as a very bad thing. No, you're passing along information that could save other people's lives, information that could really prevent people from making mistakes that they may not be able to undo. So I'm always going to spill the tea. I'm always going to be outing if need be, because I'm not going to sit here and let other people get hurt that aren't doing anything. Point blank, period. And yes, men are the real gossipers. My dad's a barber. My dad's a barber by trade. He owns a barber shop. All the tea. All the fucking tea. My own daddy be telling me other people's business and be telling everybody else's fucking business. Even my own daddy tells everybody's fucking business. And then be mad when people tell his business. It's like, you thought this was only a one-way street? You thought only you could tell other people's business and ain't nobody going to let your shit air and expose you? You're out here flapping your gums about what you're doing with who and this and this and this person? No. Not happening.
Licensed mental health counselor, Mermaid Drop, Merlin Tony Baker here. I want to share a couple more methods or ways that in counseling and working with men who were homosexuals, who were living a down low lifestyle, who are now heterosexual and dating only women, things that they share with me in therapy, in terms of how they were able to hide their, I guess, their lifestyle or their behavior. So this would be, I guess, number three is they have a faulty or immaculate social media history. They have an immaculate or faulty social media history. Like if you look at their social media pages, it's been scrubbed like using bleach and pine sol all in one. And everything looks so meticulous. So that's another thing that.
In other words, it's very performative. Okay. Very, very performative. So, for instance, I already told y'all about my, psychoanalysis with men who have a lot of baby mamas and how I really do feel as though those men are 100% DL. They have all those babies, so that way you're less suspicious of them being down low. And so what he means by an immaculate profile, a very performative profile. So it will be pictures with all of his children. It will be pictures, it will be pictures of him doing like community service and things like that. That's what it will be pictures of. And the thing about it is that I grew up with white people, okay? And I'm gonna make it very clear. White people tend to not have this problem. And the reason why they don't have this type of problem is because of this, okay? Cindy knows Brad likes to get pegged. Okay, Cindy knows that Brad likes other men. Cindy knows that, okay, yeah, so Brad, he wants me to invite over Ross, and then, you know, we can all like do our thing. This is normal for them. So this is the reason why this is only an issue in the Black community, because Black men are very much ingrained in patriarchy. Because this is the thing. This is the issue with Black men, right? They cut their own wrists. They cut their own wrists and then beg you for a Band-Aid. They cut their own wrists and then going ahead and beg you for a Band-Aid. Essentially, Black men, because they are not white men and they do not get the full privileges of patriarchy, what they have to do is they have to create their own form of patriarchy. I call it patriarchy 2.0. So what Black men will do is that they create their own culture and they create their own mini hierarchy within the Black community. So what they do is, this is why most Black men are homophobic. A lot of Black men will openly be homophobic because it's their own secret way to uphold their own patriarchy. Because you have to think, Black men don't get an education. Black men don't earn a whole lot of money. Black men are raised in poverty. So they don't have the upstanding to be able to compete with white men. So what they have to do is they have to create an inferiority complex and be homophobic, meanwhile upholding the white man's patriarchy, because they understand that they cannot do all the things that the white man is able to do. I hope I'm making sense. I hope that I hope that there's clarity with that. Okay. Because like I said before, I knew in high school that I went to high school and literally there was a white guy. There was a white guy and then actually a biracial boy. They had done gay porn. They had did gay for pay porn. We were in high school. And then a few more stories kept coming out in high school where there were men that were sleeping with other men. So I knew that this was a thing in high school, and like it was a rumor and it came and went. And like no one treated them different. No one quit being friends with them. No one treated them any different. It's very, very normal for them to do that. I worked with nothing but white men, and I kid you not, they had no problem telling me that they went to a gay club. They allowed a gay man to buy drinks for them. And I literally had a white man, a white coworker, tell me that if the gay man that had paid for his drinks was offering to pay him money to do extracurricular activities, he would have done the extracurricular activities for money. Even Black men that I know that work in white men's spaces, they say the same thing. There's a Black guy that I know, and he's like, yeah, he's like, my white coworkers, they openly tell me that their wife pegs them. They openly tell them that. Ye is a great example. First experiences with his 6-year-old male husband, now humiliates wife publicly. Y'all, the tea is hot too. Speaking to DL, the tea is hot. Folks is on this internet talking about Kanye West. Kanye West cheated on Kim Kardashian with Jeffree Star, y'all. Jeffree Star. If y'all don't know who Jeffree Star is, Jeffree Star was a fucking superstar on MySpace back in the day. Okay, he wore the pink. He very pale, very skinny, very thin. He would rock that pink hair, and he creates makeup. His makeup is tea, by the way. His makeup is bomb. I love Jeffree Star, but yeah, supposedly Kanye West had cheated on Kim Kardashian with Jeffree Star. You heard it here first. But back to what I was saying, this is an issue with men in the Black community because they have tried to create their own patriarchy, and it's at the hands of Black women. It is at the hands of Black women. Um, Black women are the highest like female gender to be able to get HIV, and it's coming from Black men. And it's coming from Black men who are sleeping most likely with other men behind their wives' back. Because it's actually the wives that have the highest cases of HIV, because essentially a lot of women don't realize that they are a beard. They have no idea that they are a beard.
I've been shared with in therapy in terms of how guys were able to hide. Another thing that I was told, I guess this would be number 4, that some guys do is their phones are like Fort Knox. Now, granted, you do have a lot of people as to where you know you can't get in their phones, and you may ask to see their phones and stuff like that, and they may not share the password. But when I say their phones are like Fort Knox, I mean literally. Some guys would hide their phones when
Child, I don't know if anyone had remembered, but there was like I guess you could call it a challenge that was on TikTok, and it was essentially so Grinder has a very like unique notification sound. Okay, it has a very, very unique notification sound. And so what people were doing was they would like pull up a YouTube video or even download Grinder and have that notification play around their boyfriend, and then like see. And then I guess also if you also register your significant other's number on Grinder, it will go on ahead and it will do it with your matches. It will do it to the person closest to you, and you'll be able to know what that too. So this is how it sounds like. Okay, this is how the sound sounds. Let me share the screen so y'all can hear. One more time. So yeah, that's the noise. That's the notification. That's the notification. So yeah. I suppose that that is what, they're doing in these grinder streets, I suppose. And you can figure it out, through that way. Um but yeah, Black women, I feel like it's very, very important that you really try not to go off of men based off of anything external. You really do need to practice your discernment and pay attention to things to make sure that you don't get got. Especially if you're dealing with Black men. Especially if you're dealing with Black men. They see themselves below the white patriarchy, but take inspiration from it, right? Right. So essentially all Black men do is they take patriarchy and they reversed it. So this is why Black men, like, they don't get married. They will get married outside of their race, because Black men are really upset still that they were slaves. Okay. They are coping the best way that they can with being slaves. They've never recovered from being slaves. Never. They've never been able to mentally recover since the slavery days. And so essentially, I really do feel like Black men have an oppression kink. I really do feel as though Black men have a kink when it comes to finding groups of people to oppress, mainly women. And so this is the reason why they're like, oh, well, I will marry, but I will marry out. They marry out the most out of any race. Of course, the status comes along with that too, but they want to be able to oppress another group and be like, haha, like, you're not able to get married. That's why they're always throwing it in Black women's faces, being like, well, that's why you all are the least married. It's because it's their way of essentially trying to oppress you further or seeing it as a form of oppression. I really do feel as though black men do it on purpose. Like, I feel as though they pass like HIV and things like that onto their wives on purpose, because there's a level of oppression that they want to be able to put on black women. Because I feel like that, once again, epigenetics, I feel like it just runs so deep. It runs so deep in them, and men are already very easily programmable. That's one thing that I want you to remember, is that men are very easy to program. Men don't the Y chromosome is really small. So men are very, very impressionable. So when you take a man who is already weak, okay, men are already inherently weaker. They're emotionally weaker and mentally weaker than men. I don't agree with everything that Scott Galloway says. Maybe I will do a live regarding Scott Galloway, but although I don't agree with everything that Scott Galloway says, because I do feel as though he can be very self-loathing when it comes to men, Scott Galloway 100% admits men are emotionally and weak and mentally and emotionally stronger than men are. He has said it time and time again. We are the stronger gender. We do better in school. We do better with emotional regulation. We do better with our own survival tactics. We do better with gaining and maintaining our resources. Overall, as a woman, you are the superior gender. You are the better gender. Zero doubt about it. Zero doubt about it. If you're a woman watching this, you're better than men. Always remember that. You're better than them. You have 2 strong X chromosomes. You have better brain development. You mature faster. When you were born, you were already 6 weeks ahead of the male. So when you take a man, so just a white man, and then you take a black man who these men alone already are weaker, and then you put them through something such as slavery that weakens their mind more. Slavery for black men was psychological warfare. It was psychological warfare. That's the reason why they did it. That's the reason why they enslaved them. Okay? That's the reason why. To have psychological warfare, to make it very easy to manipulate them, to make it very easy to be able to control them. Because you're already taking something weak and you're making it even weaker. This is the reason why at a very young age, I'll be honest with y'all. I will be 100% honest with y'all. I would not attribute it to being like self-hating, but I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood until I was 9. And my experience was drastically different once I went to an all-white school. Like, when I went to an all-black school, the boys would harass me. They would like grab my ass and like touch my ass, like at a very young age. Like, we're talking about like 1st and 2nd grade. Like, these black boys were very, very ridiculous. These black boys were running amok. These black boys had a lot of deep-rooted issues. And so then when we moved and I was in more of a predominantly white space. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, like, did I get issues, you know what I mean, like from the white boys? Of course, you know what I mean? I don't want to say boys are going to be boys, but all boys know how to do is harass people, you know what I mean, and ruin everything. That's what they're good at. So no matter what, that's what it's going to be. But I could tell the difference in like how I was viewed, how I was looked at, how they treated me, how they talked to me, and things like that. So I didn't even date, y'all listen to this, I didn't even date a black man until I was 26. And even when he approached me, I'll be honest, a lot of the reason why I didn't want to talk to him was because he was black. The only reason why I talked to him was because he lived in Chicago. I always wanted to live in Chicago, and he was a club promoter. I really just wanted to like go to places, get into places. We could do a call in now. I haven't started the live stream on the other channel. I'll be doing that today at 8 o'clock. But here, I could put the link in the chat if anyone wants to call in and share their experience. But yeah, I only dated him because he had a lot of connections, and like I really just wanted to get the experience of living in the city. And that was the worst relationship I ever had with a black man. That was the worst relationship that I ever had, was with a black man. And he literally just got blocked because it's like he very narcissistic, very self-hating. And listen, I'm not saying that if you go get a white man or if you get a Mexican man or anything like that, I'm not saying that if you get another race that it just automatically is going to, solve all your problems, because men are men. Okay. No race is going to erase the fact that they're a man. There are just certain types of social conditioning, social engineering, and things like that that are going to, that it will just be easier for you to avoid, is essentially what I'm saying. There will be more things that will be able to break you down easier, that you would be able to avoid, I feel like, if you just don't deal with black men. Or at least just date out, just try it, just experience it, just to see how it is. Yeah, I only had a relationship with one black man in my life, and I'll never do it again. So whenever I hear black men talk about like, oh, well, this is why we only like black women and this is why we only like this, listen, I'm not checking for y'all, at least not in a serious way. So I'll sleep with, I will, sleep with them. I will. I'm very picky though. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm very picky though. I ain't sleeping with no ninja. Let's get that straight. I ain't sleeping with no ninja. I ain't sleeping with no scammer. I ain't sleeping with no YN. No, those are ninjas. I don't sleep with a ninja. I sleep with black men. Okay. I sleep with black men. They have to have something to lose. They have to have something to lose. The worst thing that you could ever do as a black woman is to get with a black man or a ninja and he ain't got nothing to lose. A man that has nothing to lose is very, very, very dangerous. Exactly. Yes, Carlton's. Thank you, Carlton's. I will take. Listen, I will take me a nerd, a nerd, a cornball. I will take me someone that is black that is not cool before I ever take me a popular thug. Those are going to be the main ones that are DL. Those are going to be the main ones that are narcissistic. Those are going to be the main ones that are going to ruin your fucking life, because they have a lot of self-hatred and they have not been conditioned properly. They have not been conditioned properly. Exactly. Keep dark meat on the side. Exactly. Keep dark meat on the side. All your sugar daddies white. Not all of them. I had one black sugar daddy. No, I had two black sugar daddies. But mind you, they wasn't no YNs. They wasn't no scammers. The best one was old. He was old as hell. He was like 65 years old. Very respectful. Okay, very, very respectful. I didn't really have any problems out of him. I didn't have any problems out of him. He was he was born in the South, Southern. He was my biggest thing when it comes to black men in general, but specifically black men. I have to have proof that they were socially conditioned properly. If they were not socially conditioned properly, it's going to be an issue. Black men, when black men are born in fragments. Like every time a black man is born, I imagine like a glass bottle being shattered. Every time a black boy is born, it's shattered glass. So when he does not grow up in an environment where his parents, his environment, his friends, the school that he went to, the sports that he involved himself in, if they don't do what they can to put those glass pieces together, they gonna cut your ass. You're stepping on broken glass every time you're dealing with a black man that has not been properly socially conditioned. It's the class issue. I despise ghetto. I really cannot. And people try to make it, and people try to say bougie or call me bougie. Because see, that's one thing too. You know, with black people, you're supposed to be happy with poverty. You're supposed to be happy with having nothing. You're supposed to be happy with being bottom of the barrel. You're supposed to be happy with just asking for a handout. You're supposed to be happy with being, non-achieving. And so, when you actually are none of those things and you actually have your shit together and you have standards, oh, well, you're bougie. You think you're better than everybody else. Okay, well, then I guess I'll be bougie and then I guess I'll be better than everybody else. It's kept me protected. It's kept me from becoming a baby mama. It's kept me from getting unalived. It's kept me from getting abused. It's kept me from losing my degrees. It's literally kept everything in my life how it is, good how it is, and I'm never going to apologize for that, and you should never apologize for that. You should never apologize for that, because that's one thing. Black men will ruin your life and then blame you and ask you and get mad at you because you let them ruin it. No, you're not ruining my life. You're not fucking ruining my life, point blank, period. You need to be protective of your energy. Ain't no man worth me losing what I worked hard for. And that's the reason why, babes, y'all got to make sure that you have something worth losing. And not only that, understand that you actually do have something worth losing. Baby girl, listen, no man should ever be the prize in your head. No man should ever be the final destination for you. No man should ever be the final boss of your life when it comes to you getting married or having a child or anything like that. Yeah, like at the end of the day, these men are always going to sit here. Look, Queen Sovereign got cottage cheese yeast discharge. Aw, like your mom. Aw. So I look at it like this. Just make sure that you know that you're the value. Just make sure that you understand that you are the value and that you have things worth losing. And is a man going to be worth you losing things? Is a man going to be worth you having to move across the country and you leaving your job? Is a man going to be worth you, leaving your cush life behind? You got your workout. You got your workout routine, your meal prepping, you got your face routine, your night routine, you got your whole life sorted out the way you wanted to. Is that worth giving a man a child? Because see, I don't believe that. Whenever a woman says, well, I didn't want the child, but he wanted one. Every time a woman tells me that, I said, oh, so the man must be pushing out the baby then, huh? So he must be pushing out the baby. He must be getting stretch marks. He must be getting postpartum depression. He must be breastfeeding. He must be taking breaks while he's at work to, pump milk. He must be the one doing all these things then in order to be asking you for a child and you don't want one. He must be asking you, he must be the one that, if you all divorce or you all break up, he must be the one that's going to take the kids and not you. You are the value. You are the prize. And you also have to understand that men want women way more than we want them. Like, look, there. How many Dusties have been on this live stream? Clearly, they want us more. Who has enough time? Who has enough time to keep making fake profiles? Like, just think. Who has enough time to be making fake profiles and commenting stuff? You know how much of a low life that means. That means he doesn't have a job. That means he doesn't have hobbies. That means he doesn't have something that he's interested in. Like, what? You don't need a man. You don't need a man more than they need you. Oh, I'm going to cover that story, but I'm going to cover that story on my memberships page. I'm going to cover that story on my memberships page because the women are waking the fuck up. And we need to normalize it. Unfortunately, hey girl. Hey Elisheva. Unfortunately, I hear this all the time and wondering why I chose to stay child free because who wants to deal with all the drama and trauma? Child. I'm cool. I'm not having any children. I'm not dealing with that. Men don't want, as a woman, men don't want to have children to help you raise the child. They want you to have children so that way they have a way to control you. When men talk about children, when they say children, just think control. When they want to have a handle on you, and when they want to have a handle, like, what is going on? What is going on? Wants to deal with all the drama and trauma, child. You got to turn your mic down. Any children?
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome.
Hey.
What you got to say?
Well, actually, I see you have like an actual topic, but when I came in, you were talking about your experiences, like going to school with Black boys. That's
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to get off topic, so.
No. I mean, it's really not off topic just because simply like we are seeing this issue within the Black community when it comes to like these things getting exposed, like the things with the predators, the things with men being DL. I just only see this with really Black men. So I feel like, no, it's a part of the topic. So no, going ahead, you have the stage.
Yeah, no, like, because like I said, when I came in, you were talking about like when you were in elementary school and your experiences, your earliest memories and experiences with going to school with Black boys. So I just thought I would chime in. I don't want this to like turn into like a therapy session or anything either. Like, but yeah, like listen, in all generalities, like you said, like I like Carlton. I like Black guys like that. But the point is, like, I haven't had a lot of favorable memories of like going to school with Black boys. Like you said, they're like bullies. Like I work with Black men now. It's just they're bullies. This is a true story. So like when I was really young. I was like in elementary school, probably like first or second grade. And this boy, he was bullying me. He literally punched me like in the stomach to the point where I blacked out. Like I was in early elementary school and he got expelled from the school for doing it or whatever because the teacher saw him do it. And come to find out, because you said these people have like deep rooted, they have a lot of issues. Come to find out, during his expulsion from school, from punching me in the stomach, he was living with his grandmother, and during his expulsion, he burnt the house down that he was living in. Yeah, he burned his grandmother's house down during his expulsion. I literally remember the vice principal telling my mom in a meeting in the office. And that's just one experience, but Yeah, I don't know.
God, I'm so sorry. That's like super young. Like I am so
Mm.
sorry that you had to go through that. That is super, super traumatizing. But wow, like I didn't go through a fraction of that. But honestly, I kind of feel like this. It wasn't the main reason why we ended up moving, but it was one of the reasons why we moved because I kid you not, if we would have stayed where I was going to school at with the black boys that I was going to school with, something similar would have probably happened because there was this biracial boy that I went to elementary school with, and he was horrible. He would harass me every day. He literally would stalk me. He literally would I'll never forget this. We were doing an assignment, a class assignment, and it was this really hard history assignment that we were doing. And I'm like flipping the pages and I'm like doing everything. And I've always been into like my schoolwork. So I finished all of it. I ended up finishing it. It's the end of the class. And the teacher's like, "Where's your paper? I don't see your paper. Did you turn it in?" And I'm like, "I definitely turned my paper in. It's in there." I'm looking through all the papers. I'm looking through all this paper. Why did this boy erase my fucking name and
And
write
put
his
his
name
name
down?
on this.
Put his fucking name. Girl, it got even worse. So we moved, and I'm like, yes, I don't ever have to deal with this fucking boy again. Never again. Why did he move to the same exact town that we did in middle school? So I had to go. I was in 8th grade and I found out that he ended up coming to that same school in 8th fucking grade, harassed me all over again. I'll never forget. I left. It was math class, and they're like, "Oh no, you need to stay back. You need to stay back. We need to talk to you." And I'm like, "Talk to me about what?" So all the teachers in 8th grade that I had literally sat me down, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the boy is saying that you're harassing him. The boy is saying that like you're being mean to him. Like he was making all these accusations against me." And then they sided with him. They ended up siding with him. In high school, he was doing the same. He started doing the same thing to other girls. It was getting mad that he was getting rejected. He put women on a hit list. He ended up getting suspended because he put us on a hit list to kill us.
So I have one more quick story. I didn't want this to turn crazy. And listen, and we're not saying we don't like men or black men. These are like literally our personal experiences, like true story. So when I was in the 8th grade, so my mom, she didn't allow me to talk to boys. I couldn't talk to boys. I couldn't talk to boys on the phone, like couldn't have a boyfriend and that. So when I got to 8th grade, she allowed me to start talking on the phone. So this one boy, he, you know how they would ask you, like, "Do you want to be my girlfriend?" Like, and maybe like with a little no, or like just so however it happened, he was my little boyfriend. We would like walk to class together. He would sit at lunch with me, whatever. So everybody knew we were an item or whatever. So girl, just to make a long story short, he started a nasty rumor that that I did oral sex on him. And we were in the 8th grade. So it was, at that time, that was very traumatic for me, for that rumor to be, going around, and people believed it because they knew we were boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. So it was devastating for me, you guys. I mean, it was awful, but just to make a long, it wasn't true. I had never even seen a penis in the 8th grade. You know what I mean? Just to make a long story short, that was in the 8th grade. So we were like 12, 13. Do you know that same guy, he ended up committing suicide when we were in like our very early 20s. Yeah, when we were like 20 years old. I probably shouldn't even have and said that, but no, like we're talking about this.
No, it's good that you're talking about this, honestly, because then listen, us saying this is making a lot of women feel less crazy and more validated in like their own experiences.
So
Because
he had problems, though, is what I'm saying.
yes,
And
exactly.
I was going through it, you guys, at that time and I was a child. My parents had, like, I was an all-A student. I was like dropping grades. People didn't know what was going, like the adults, the kids knew, but my parents had no idea, like, what is wrong with you? Like, da 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 da. But yeah, he had problems. We were like 20 years old and he committed suicide.
Whoo, child. But it's the truth. I really do feel as though like the boys, like especially the black boys like that I had went to school with, I feel like when they have like they're very, very, they have a hard time with rejection, or they just, you could tell like they have mental issues, and then it manifests into their adulthood in a way that it's like they end up doing very crazy things. They end up doing very nefarious things. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. I can only imagine how many women are in proximity to men that were like the little boys that we were around, and like what they're out doing, or what they're thinking about doing, and they haven't done it yet, or maybe what they have done and other people don't know that they've done it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And like you said about, like, of course, I'm sure you experienced whatever with the white guys when you went to your all white school. But like in elementary school, like touching butts, and this was like normal to us. Like the stories we would hear, like, oh, what happened on the school bus? And this was in elementary school. I'm from Detroit. So I don't know what.
Oh, you're from the Midwest too. Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up in Indiana, right outside of Chicago.
Yeah. So rough neighborhood, like all black. So this was normal for us to be so young, and for this to be the behavior and the mentality.
Yeah, when I went to, because I started going, so we moved and it was in the 5th grade. So it was actually in the 5th grade that I ended up going to an all-white school, and I was like, this is so different. Like, I'm not seeing all this craziness that I was seeing, back when I actually was living in Indiana, because like so I grew up in Gary. I grew up in Gary, Indiana. Yeah. I grew up in Gary. I was born the year it was the murder capital of the United States. And the reason why we had ended up moving was because 2 of my young cousins were killed. One was 16 and then one was 18. They were killed like a year apart. So that was one of the reasons why we ended up moving. But yeah, and then even within my own family, both sides, I would just notice, because majority both sides of my family are women, and I'm like, how come with the few men, like they're fuck ups? Like, how come with the few men, like always getting into like some type of trouble? Like
yeah.
Like what is with this? So then, like I said before, at a very young age, that's when I realized, I was like, black men are black men are very, very damaged. Very, very damaged.
Absolutely. And then back to the topic. I don't know if did you hear about Kanye and like the new song that he dropped or whatever? Did you hear about that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I don't know either, but I think I just heard yesterday, like he dropped a song about him having sexual activity with his cousin.
Okay, I didn't hear. I heard about
his male cousin or something.
That's what they were saying in the chat. That's what they were talking about in the chat. And I'm like, if honestly, I look at it like this. If we could be a fly on the wall, because I really feel like a lot of these men, especially black men, a lot of these black men are DL because a lot of this stuff started happening when they were children.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of it started happening when they were children. So it was either like an uncle, a cousin, a friend of a
family friend.
Exactly. And yeah, and a lot of them are never going to ever talk about it.
Admit it.
Yeah, a lot of them are never ever going to admit it. And so even with those conversations, it's kind of like, it's not that I would ever meet the person that happened to with judgment. Like let's just say, okay, like this is true, and Kanye West really did do that. I would never meet Kanye West with judgment. I would meet the family with judgment, because I mean, I don't know how old, like, I don't know I don't know how old, but like when I hear things like that, and I'm like when I hear people say, like, have you ever heard like men or rappers say that, like, oh yeah, like, because I can't remember who it was. There was another rapper that said that like he lost his virginity at like 13 with like a cousin or something like that. I can't remember what rapper it was, but I'm just kind of like, no one's talking about how that's like not normal. Like no one's talking about like how that's like neglectful, like within your own family. Like that just doesn't make.
Or about how don't get me wrong, because I don't keep up with this stuff, but it comes up on my timelines on social media. I want to say it's Boozy or Future. Their
Yeah.
son is like 9 or 8 or 9 or 10 years old, and they were like, oh yeah, I would get a prostitute for my son. Or oh yeah, oh no, the baby said it himself in an interview. He's like 9, 8 or 9, and he was like, oh, I want to be around strippers. Like, what do you want for your birthday? Like, I want strippers. And he was trying to like tell the son, no, you don't want that, son. And the son was like, yes, I do. Like, I'm being honest. And it's insane. Like, if a 9-year-old black girl got up there and was like, oh, I want to be a stripper, or I want to say, black men would have a field day with that. But little black boys, these are babies, 9, 10 years old, can come up and say they want to experience and encounter a stripper.
Yeah. And it's going to be through the exploitation of black women. And then what's going to happen is that, like, I can't stand it, because then what happens is that it's going to be exploitation of the black women. And then what happens is that these black boys get older and then they become self-hating. They're like, oh yeah, like I hate black women. And it's like, this is what you were first exposed to through them being exploited, and now all of a sudden you hate them. Like, it runs very, very deep, like their hatred and their disdain.
Have you ever heard, like, if you get this early exposure to women and you're so sexualized so early that it's like by the time you're an adult, you're bored with that. Like, so it's like a curiosity. It's like, all right, what's next? Like, what else? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
oh, 100%. And I think that's the reason why, like, these teenage boys, because it's like they have access to like porn on their phone, they have access to
so early
women on Instagram. It's not like how it was with us growing up, where you had to go dig a tape up or something like that, or stay up late. It wasn't that easy, and now it's very, very easy. And I'm like, oh my God, no wonder why everyone is so freaked out, because if you just think back 20 years ago, the things that we deem as normal now, especially sexually, what we deem normal now would have been, I mean, you have to remember, Janet Jackson got her career ended because her nipple was showing. All you got to do is whip out Instagram, and it's women's both nipples out freely in a sheer outfit. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, because I'm 35. So when I was a child, a small child, like 6, 7, that age, in the 90s, it was national news that if a man got found out that he was on the DL in the closet, he got beat to death. This stuff was on national news. It wasn't okay when I was growing up. So it's just like you said the other day about these men, they can just make laws tomorrow, and then the rest of the men will be like, oh, it's okay, it's legal. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it wasn't okay being gay, being, is it me, or I don't remember it being, what's the word for it now? See, they just called it cross-dressing when we were growing up.
Yeah, that's
they
what
just
it was.
called, you were gay, and then you were just a drag queen or a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? You can identify as a woman and all this and that. That's normal now. Then it was like RuPaul, he was popular.
Yep.
It was just like but it wasn't normal. It was either for entertainment purposes, like, oh, you're a drag queen, or it was like completely like, I'm gonna kill you if I find out you tricked me.
Yeah.
And that was oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Unalive or whatever. I'm not used to YouTube lingo. Oopsie.
It's okay.
But yeah, it's just so totally different. So as far as like men, they're starting to, as far as the Kanye song and things of that nature, I think they're starting to feel more comfortable to be like, this is what's happening. This is what we've been doing. And this is what it is.
That's why I had said, I think that it's going to get to the point where, like, well, that's why I'm always saying, like, I feel like one of the best things that I feel like that happened was that men actually did pick up microphones, because they're exposing their own nature.
The cat is out the bag.
Yeah, they're exposing their own nature. And so I really do feel as though, whatever excuses a woman has as to how she's gotten hurt or she's gotten burned or she's gotten bamboozled, what a woman can never say is that the information was not out here on this internet, okay? Because the truth is out. Like these men, everything is getting exposed. So there is nothing that's off limits. Anything that would put you in a messed up predicament would really be based off of you being naive and you just not wanting to believe what they're telling you.
Correct. And it's honestly, I take something back. I think a lot of stuff Black women, our mothers and grandmothers knew, but it was like, shh, don't tell about Uncle Ricky. Let's sweep it under the rug. Now it's like, so, oh well. And so I take that back. I think a lot of stuff what people knew, but it was like, shh, don't. They
were definitely doing it. It just was a lot more fear because the thing about it is that like we have a phone now and you could be whoever you want to be behind your phone. You could be whoever you want to be behind a screen. So, back in the day, it was word of mouth. And then, they know your number. They may know where you live, and that's how it was spread around throughout a much smaller community. Now we got a phone. You could expose whoever you want to expose behind a fake account through being anonymous. It can be a lot less risk that is involved with you spilling the tea on people's behavior, which I think is why people are more comfortable doing it.
And that's why I'm more so like on your type of time. Like I'm straight. Let me just hit the bench. But girl, there are so many women that are like, so he can be bi and oh well, this is how it is now. And you'll be surprised. That's why so many of these DL guys are comfortable now because it's like, oh, she's okay with it. So
right. And the thing about it is this, like, I mean, I don't have a dog to fight, or I don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to what people are okay with, based off of their preferences. I look at it like this. As long as someone is honest and you can at least be honest to give the person the decision to choose, I think that's the biggest thing. It's always when someone is acting out in shame where it becomes harmful for everybody else. And so when men just can't say, listen, I like men, or I'm sexually attracted to men, or even if they're emotionally attracted, because that's the thing. Even if you're with a man that has not sexually done anything, if he is emotionally attracted to men, if he is hiding it and trying to repress it, he's going to take it out on you every day of your life regardless. So he got to sit with himself anyway within his truth. And they don't ever want to deal with that uncomfortability, to be honest. So I feel as though it is more so, it's more out of protection for everyone if they could just be honest, because that's one thing a man is going to do. If he's broke, if he's in shame, if he's in trauma, he's going to harm everyone around him. Point blank, period.
But like you just said earlier, like men are easily, we're all influential beings. But like you said earlier, especially men, they're like so easily led astray or whatever. So they've been taught that from young that's wrong. So most of them are not going to be honest about it.
Right. Never. They're way too self-protective. They want to be able to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to do all the things with no repercussion. And a lot of them get off on it being a secret. Like I heard it from multiple men. Like because
it's what is it, taboo? Because if it's okay, then it's like I don't want it anymore. It has to be a secret and like I'm sneaking, for it to be fun.
Yeah, that's why I call bullshit when men are like, oh, I want to be polyamorous. I'm like, do you know how many men I know that literally have dealt with women that are like, hey, I'm cool if you're polyamorous and like you have other women and we share you. And they're like, no, like I don't want to do it because, well, number one, they understand that if it's polyamorous, that means that the other woman could probably deal with men too, or whatever he does, it would allow her to do it. But also number two, they're not going to get the thrill of like sneaking or lying or things like that. Like men have men are very demonic in nature. They really, really can be. They get off on hurting other people. They honestly do. Most of them.
They get that's how they get their kicks. But the point is, Yeah, but the point is, like you said about earlier, them being so easily influenced, you know, like you said, the gay men do it for sport to turn out a straight guy, right? So listen, I've convinced a lot of men don't know what they really want. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about something real. This is probably the last thing I'm gonna say. Um, so supposedly the male G spot is in the anus,
Anus. Yeah.
and they say that once they experience that G spot, that's
They
it,
want it
honey.
again. They want
That's
to keep
it,
having
honey.
it again. Yes. I've talked about this before on I think my main download video. I talked about that, and I literally said that a lot of men have cognitive dissonance when it comes to them fitting in patriarchal standards versus them having a sexual experience in that way, because it's going against what their nature is telling them what is supposed to be enjoyable for them. And so once they get a taste of that and they realize how it's much more enjoyable, they're like they are trying to like weigh the scales, like, should I be shunned at the expense of my pleasure? And they don't want to be shunned. They want to be socially accepted. Men are always in their lower half. They are very much rooted in, trying to be socially accepted. They care a lot about that. And so then they're like, well, then fine, I will get a wife, I'll get a beard, I'll have 6, 7 children. No one will assume that I am gay, and then I'll go do all my gay activities, behind everybody's back.
I know someone personally that married a beard. The wife knows that they're whatever, that they're part of the LGBT community, and that she's okay. And he's a black guy and she's a white lady.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
They
I feel
have
like
they have a
I
kid together and everything. They're married.
Oh wow. See, you'd have to pay me to be a beard. I'm sorry. I need to be paid to be a beard, but
Handsomely.
yes, I need to get paid to be a beard.
But guess what? Like, that might be a okay arrangement. Dylan, like, well, that's what the conversation is. Like, if you want a good husband, because I'm sure he's a great husband, he's probably a good friend and companion. They have a beautiful child. Like, if that's the arrangement, I don't know. I didn't mean to cut you off, though. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. I think above all, a man that can live in his truth is in most cases going to be a safer man than one that's living everything on a lie. Because like me personally, I did bodybuilding and I worked in the adult entertainment industry. I definitely have dated bisexual men. Definitely have.
You knew, or it was like they didn't tell you?
They didn't tell me, but I knew. They didn't tell me, but I knew.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess for me, it's never really bothered me. It hasn't. It's never really bothered me. I guess because the way I look at it is this. I always want to be able to do whatever it is that's going to make me happy. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be with someone that is like, hey, whatever is going to make you happy, I'm okay with you doing that thing. And so the way I look at it is that, listen, if that is what makes you happy and we can be honest about that, and you're going to be cool like that, then fine. You know what I mean? An unhappy man is a dangerous man. Okay, I'm not trying to deal with no man that is unhappy, because he's gonna try to make me unhappy too. So do what makes you happy. That way we all can be happy, because you ain't about to ruin my life because you're forcing yourself to do things that don't make you happy. I think for me, that's the biggest thing.
So I'm reading the comments. A beard is when a gay man marries someone so that they can still be socially accepted, maybe at work, maybe in certain social circles. It may even be their own families. They still get married. So it's like, hey, I have a wife. We have a family. They can present themselves as a regular man, but really behind closed doors and in actuality, they're actually gay. But they married a wife, and the woman knows, more so than not, the wife knows. So
Yeah.
she knows, and that's why they call it a beard. So I'm just explaining it. I see in the comments somebody asked what a beard was.
Yep, that's what a beard is. You're a cover up. Because yeah, most things with men, it's always gonna be performative. Because their identity is based off of all
Look,
external.
most wives are beards.
Yep. Most wives are beards. They have no idea.
They don't know. That's hilarious. But it was wonderful talking to you. I hope you have more call-in shows. I will be ready and willing to talk to you anytime. And I love your channel. Thank you for talking to me.
It was a pleasure having you up here. I definitely want to do more call-in shows. This was nice.
Okay.
Y'all ladies in the comments and in the chat, if you watch this after, please let me know if you all want to do more call-ins with just us girls. Please let me know in the comments. Because yeah, this was nice. I like this.
Yay, I liked it too. Okay, well, yay. I'm going to still be in the chat.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye.
All right, y'all. So yeah, I liked it too. I do. I liked it too. It's giving it's giving girl talk. It is. It's giving girl talk. But yeah, these men, honestly, these men being DL, I feel like it really does root from their childhood exposure. And them just having to hide that shit. Yeah. And like I said before, that's a large reason why I don't know. I developed my DL gaydar early. I developed that shit early, but I'm not I just can't. I don't have the energy to date. I don't have the energy to date. I don't have the energy to sleep with anyone. I get turned off so easily. I get turned off so easily. even the guy that I will sleep with when I'm back home, even he gave me the ick. I had to texted him back. Even he gave me the ick. I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, no, it's fine. I love that DL shit you shared. God bless you for that. Thank you, girl. I need y'all to know the signs. I'm in Houston. I need to look at that DL list. I would be shocked if you could find it all because it was 17. It was a 17-minute long video. I was lucky if I found like a 5-minute video of it, to be honest. It's messages. It's all messages. It was all on Facebook Messenger. She took like a screen recording of all of the messages. The thing about it is that it would be easier. This is the issue that I have, not necessarily with the list itself, but it's like it is a 17-minute video. I think more than it's showing that men are DL, I really think it shows more how lustful men are, how non-picky men are, how men, they don't care where their lust leads them, just as long as they get the end result. I think on a larger scale, that is what that really does show, because it was a 17-minute long screen recording. Okay. It was a lot of like, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. How are you? I watched it. She went back to 2021. Her DM was fruitful. Yeah. So it definitely does show like the men don't give a damn. They don't care. They really don't care. As long as you have a hole, they're cool. They're fine. They don't care if your hole is desecrated. They don't care if it's diseased. They're not picky like they try to make it seem. They're not. They're not these picky creatures like they try to make it. Indefinitely. I mean, here's the thing. Exposing men is dangerous for anybody. Um, Yeah, exposing men is dangerous for anyone. That's the reason why they're dangerous. To keep you into submission, to keep you secretive, to keep you in a state of not wanting to say anything. That's the reason why they are dangerous. Because you already know that in the back of your head, like, they're going to use their physical to harm you. They're going to use their physical or their connections or things like that to make your life a living hell. Like, they literally don't care. I used to be so male centered up until I was 30. I am 32 this year and refuse to give a man everything anymore. Girl, a man is lucky if he gets a fucking look out of me. If I hold eye contact long enough for him to get two blinks out of me. Yeah, their physical strength is the only thing they have over us. But like I always say, a man's arm can't swing faster than a bullet than a bullet can pierce. And that's why I keep a piece of steel. Okay, if you're a woman and you don't have a firearm, please get a firearm. Please get a firearm. Your channel has literally changed my life. I even said I broke up with my ex after watching this channel. Aw, Taylor, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad, girl. I'm trying to have y'all out here dust free, living your best life, making all the money, your skin glowing, your hair growing, the booty. Like how Jocelyn Hernandez said, she said, my ass is, she said, my ass is fat. My stomach is flat. I want y'all skin glowing, ass fat, stomach flat, pockets flat, or pockets fat. Yes, so happy to find your channel. I need it. Yeah, I'm telling you, once you get a life on your own and you really start seeing men for who they really are, you realize how fucking boring they are. They're so boring. They're unoriginal. They have no conversation skills. They don't have a taste in anything. Like, they don't have a taste in dressing. They don't have a taste in food. There's no refinement to the male. There is no refinement to the male. Like, a lot of women will be dating men, and I'm like, you probably talked 80% of the date, and you walked away from the date thinking that you like the man, when in reality, you like yourself because you were talking the whole goddamn time. Oh, it's true. I love your channel. I love your energy. You're always smiling, always happy. I love it. Well, little do y'all know, this channel heals me. It does. This channel legit heals me. Talking to you all really does heal me. Every time I hop on a live stream here, it heals me every little bit of the way within my own life. So yeah, it's always super easy to be smiley on here and like cheesy on here, and bubbly on here, because I really do enjoy doing this. And yeah, it just makes me happy. Anon, thank you for the super chat. Another great stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I do have a live stream scheduled for the spiritual channel. You can find me on the spiritual channel at the Mystic Sovereign. I do have the link in my link tree in the description. We are going to be talking about dreaming tonight. We're going to be talking about dreaming, how to decode your dreams. We're going to be talking about sleep paralysis. We are going to be talking about astral projection. So, I'm going to head over on there now. So if you want to dig deeper into all of the spiritual things when it comes to your sleep, you guys can meet me over there. Okay. My heading is Queen the Mystic, but y'all, I had a really great live stream with you all tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday evening. To my sovereign sisters, if you don't follow me over on the spiritual channel, I will see you all next time. And to all of my lovely spiritual sovereign sisters, I will see y'all over on the other channel. Okay, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.